What's going on, mamas? You got Coach Zoe here with Symbol Mom Fitness, and today we are doing that workout to help you get some better sleep for better energy, okay, in your third trimester specifically. All right. But otherwise, of course, it's a great prenatal workout no matter where you are. Okay, so we're gonna work in some strength, cardio, mobility, and of course rest time. Okay, so grab some space. All you need is your body weight, and let's get started. We're gonna take a step back, take those feet about hip width, and let's just start with a march as we reach those arms up and down. Okay, just a nice low little march, nothing crazy. Gonna get those arms and shoulders working, and when you reach all the way up, go as far back as you can. Okay, let's open up that chest and engage that back a little bit. Good, and now let's take it with a full high march and some big arm circles. Good, so we have quite a variety of movements today. We're just going one time through. So no repeat, so yay, right? But we're gonna work 30 seconds of strength, 30 seconds of cardio. All right, now let's step out to the side and reach wide. 30 seconds of strength, 30 seconds of cardio, okay? 30 seconds of mobility, so kind of like an active rest, and then 30 seconds of real rest. So we're not gonna take a break, an extended break. Let's see some butt kicks now. We're not gonna take an extended break because, all right, we're gonna have a lot of built-in rest. And again, that mobility isn't gonna really be a burner. So I don't want us to get too relaxed, right? We're here to have fun and to work hard. Let's see some flies. Facing the front. Draw those forearms together and apart. And let's add a squat. And we'll squat down and puff out that chest as you stand. Squat down, puff out that chest as you stand. Good. And hands on your hips. Let's do a lunge on each side, and then a squat. A lunge on each side, followed by a squat. And if you're a little off balance, take your time. Make sure we have those 2 train tracks of movement. Okay, 90 degrees at each knee. Good. Next, we're gonna do 1 squat, followed by 1 hinge. So pushing those hips back and reaching for the floor. So squat, chest stays high, hinge, chest goes low. Squat, chest stays high, hinge, chest goes low. And when we're doing that hinge, I want you to push those hips back. Keep your knees over the ankles, okay? Don't let your knees poke forward. Good, just the hinge now, just the hinge. Staying there, keep repping it out. If you don't touch the floor, that's fine. I'm not touching the floor. This baby is in the way. And then we're gonna reach up nice and high after we touch that ground, or at least after we're just reaching for it. And we're gonna work through the full bodies today. So pretty much that's as always, but focusing on those nice, big, strong, supportive muscles for the core, the hips, the shoulders, okay? Good, all right, let's just shake it out, do some light hip circles. Drawing that knee up. Good. Whew. Alrighty. Okay, shake it out. And while I'm talking, giving you your quick introduction, you just find a nice little kick or side to side step, and you work those arms in. Okay? Alright. So keep moving or get a quick drink if you need it. So again, 30 seconds strength, then cardio, then mobility, and then rest. Okay, so keep your water nearby. Get your water in your rest breaks. Of course, if you need a longer break, just pause the video and then pick it back up when you're ready. All right, so we're gonna start with a squat pulse. Okay, a squat pulse. So we're gonna stay low in that squat and up and down. Let's get started. Squat pulse. Woo! All right, so we're not bouncing. Notice I'm not moving fast and jerky. I'm staying controlled. I'm just moving through a short range of motion. Okay, so this is our strength round. Okay, our strength interval is what I really should say. So it's gonna burn, all right? So let it burn. All right, push yourself with a safe limit, right? Almost there, 5 more seconds, and then we're gonna step side to side. In 3, 2, 1, stand up tall. Oh, And let's step side to side, and let me see your jumping jack arms. All right, so this is our cardio. If you want to do real jumping jacks, right, or I should say regular, if you want to do regular jumping jacks, that's fine by me. Okay, but push yourself to a pace that feels good, one that you can hold a conversation with. You can hear I'm struggling a little bit. Good. 5 more seconds, and then we're gonna do some butt kicks in 3, 2, 1. Now let's do some butt kicks. So here's our mobility. So we're not moving super fast. Not moving super fast. I know we're just getting started, so might be a little eager. So if you want, you could totally jog it out with those heel kickers, right? But otherwise, we're just gonna take it nice slow. We're just focusing on working through that full range of motion. So remember, mobility doesn't necessarily mean a stretch, right? I want you to think of mobility as working through the range of motion and rest. So as we get through this workout, use your mobility as an active recovery. So we're moving while we're trying to catch that breath, okay? So now we're actually catching our breath in 30 seconds. It's gonna feel long to start, all right? But it'll feel short by the time we're done. Okay, so next we're gonna have an arm raise forward, and arm raise wide. So you can either sit in the chair or in a couch, all right, and lean forward. I just like to hinge, it's more comfortable on my belly. So reaching up and reaching out. Let's get started. Reaching up, then reaching out, okay? So kind of in the pattern of an I, then in the pattern of a T. All right, so if we had dumbbells, you'd really feel this, but we're doing 30 seconds in our low back, especially in that third trimester. It's doing a lot of work right here. So body weight is more than okay, especially as our chests get bigger. Okay, we're fighting that poor posture. Good, and next we're gonna take a modified jumping jack. So squat down, and then reach up and stand, and kick that foot out to the side. So a little squat as we reach out and stand up tall. And again, push a pace that works for you for today. You're here and working, that's all I care about. So we're doing that strength, support those muscles, working our cardio for those lungs and get that good circulation through the joints. Good rest. We're gonna screw light bulbs in. So this one might be a little harder to see. Notice my elbows turning in and out. It's not just in my wrists. So we're getting that mobility through the shoulder right now. It doesn't feel like a lot, I know. Whew. But if your upper back is pretty weak or your shoulders are weak, it might burn a little bit. Mine are. Good. Just try to take deep breaths and rest. Shake it up. Okay. So next, we're just going to do a side-to-side lunge. So your options are to step with it, okay, or you can stay stationary. So I'm going to step out wide with my little hinge and a squat, all right, and stand up tall. Or you can keep those feet wide and just go back and forth, okay? So get ready. Roll those shoulders back. All right, puff out that chest. Let's begin. Side to side lunge. Side to side lunge. Big step out to the side, hinging from those hips. Okay, make sure you're not hyperextending that long knee, right? The elongated leg. Kind of like to keep a slight bend to it. And we're not just dropping that chest forward, we are hinging, but we're trying to use those glutes. So it is a bit of a squat, right? Getting a little too close. And rest. Okay, next we have a stationary side shuffle. So lightly reaching for that side. You definitely don't have to shuffle the way I was, right? But if you want to kind of skip step, let's push that pace a little more, go for it. Otherwise, we're here. Step, 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 step. I'm not touching the ground. You don't have to either. Okay, if you can, awesome. All right, I just don't have the space to at this point. 3, 2, 1, and now we're going to use the wall if you need to. Pigeon stretch. So we're gonna squat down in this little pigeon. We're gonna take our ankle just above the knee and sit our hips back as far as what's comfortable, okay? So again, this is mobility, so we're not doing any static stretches. We're just taking these joints, these muscle groups that do a lot of work through a long range of motion under control. That's the key. And rest, Okay, 3 movements down. We're looking good. Okay, next we have just a standard hinge. Okay, so kind of like a deadlift. So we're just gonna drop those hips back. All right, again, knees are staying over the ankles. All right, they're not moving around, they're not driving forward. We're not squatting. Okay, so just a standard hinge to start. You don't have to touch the floor. Let's get moving. If you want a little extra, reach up for that ceiling. If you want to get that upper body working a little more, focus on really squeezing your glutes as you stand and digging those heels into the ground. Breathe out as you come up. Good. And again, if you feel like you want to use weights, you don't throw them in whenever you feel is right for you, but we definitely do not need it for this workout. 3 more seconds, and then we're gonna hold this hinge position, but alternate our feet as we step back. Let's begin. So notice I'm still in my hinge, I'm just stepping back. So we're gonna make this cardio, right, by adjusting the pace to get that heart pumping. And if we get those arms incorporated, that's full body, so it's really going to help, right, with that workload. All right, but you could totally be hands on the hips and just stepping it out. 5 more seconds here, and then we're gonna find a hamstring stretch. In 3, 2, 1, we're gonna find a hamstring stretch. So 1 foot a little farther out, and you're just gonna kind of do that hinge again, right? See that hinge motion? But I'm getting a stretch on the opposite leg. So again, sneakily getting that work in while we're working through our range of motion. So that's why I kept saying mobility rather than just like flexibility or stretches. Okay, because we really aren't just doing it. And rest. Phew. Okay, moving quick here. Next we're gonna be doing elbow in flies. So again, if you have little dumbbells, you can totally use them. All we're doing is opening and closing the closet doors. Okay, if you want a little extra work, or you just want to incorporate the upper body and core a little bit more, you can totally sit those hips back, find that hinge again. Might be a little intense since you just did all that hinging, but you're just gonna, I like to point my thumbs out, and that forces me to really exaggerate that squeeze. Let's get started. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Keep your elbows in tight to the body. My elbows aren't wide. I mean, they look a little wide because my belly is big. Okay, I know. All right. But we're trying to keep those elbows pinched in as much as possible. So you should really feel a lot of this work in your back, behind those shoulders, like those rear delts, if you even care about where those are or what they do. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Now let's find a march and work those arms. So here's our cardio. So picking it up now, right? So those rear delts that we were just working, those are good for like, right, that bra strap area. Although I'm not claiming that we're spot reducing there. I just mean it's gonna tone it up, right? Give you a little nice muscle tone, right? Good, good, good. And your march should be as low as you need it to be, but push the pace to get that cardio. Ready? 3, 2, 1. And now we're just gonna do some over-unders. Good. And when we're doing those over-unders, I know we tend to be like, right, lazy. No, open up your chest, squeeze. Open up your chest, squeeze. So you're alternating between engaging through the back and then engaging through the chest. Engaging through the back and engaging through the chest. Good. Keep going. Make sure you alternate which arm is on top. If you weren't, it's not the end of the world. And rest. Okay, we're almost there, ladies. So next we have a side knee. So we're gonna focus on that core a little bit here. So side knee, we're just gonna draw those knees up, okay? Draw those knees up, focus on those obliques. If you wanna get a little more out of it, we can reach and squeeze, reach and squeeze. This would be my preferred. That can easily turn into cardio. So just make sure you're focusing on the strength portion rather than just movement. Let's get started. So squeeze, squeeze those obliques. Drawing that knee out to the side. Of course, don't focus on touching that elbow to knee if that's just not doable or within your range of motion. Okay, we're just trying to work those obliques and those external rotators in the hips, okay, which are already kind of getting a lot of work because our bellies are getting bigger, but you're gonna need them nice and strong for when we add a push. Good. And now let's see some hip circles. So just taking that hip through a range of motion, again, externally. So this is our cardio. So I know this was kind of one of our warm-up moves. All right, but again, if you're pushing that pace, it's like a march. Make sure you're not twisting against your knee either, right? Let your belly follow where your knee goes. So again, if you're pushing that pace, you'll feel it in your heart. Good, 3, 2, 1. Plant your feet nice and wide. We're gonna do some pelvic circles. So just taking those hips around town, right? So push your hips forward, out to the side, back, and then to the other side. And change directions. So again, just taking them through. I know this one doesn't feel that big and we're kind of like, meh, but you'll feel where those tight areas are, right? So maybe you didn't realize that your hip flexors are really tight and that's why you can't sleep. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Okay, or maybe you notice those glutes felt a little tight, so I like that one. Okay, back to the core again. We're gonna do a side reach, okay? So, anybody maybe know SpongeBob or diehard SpongeBob fans or have kids, I guess? But there's this episode where they are doing this, they're going the power within. Not that this has anything to do with workout. That's the movement we're doing though, but it just makes me think of it. So let's get started. You're not reaching too far. You're trying to keep your hands level with your shoulders as you reach. So notice I'm not like sticking my hips out. They're staying stationary. I'm really just reaching my upper body from one side to the other. And you'll feel those obliques kicking in. They're really gonna be working hard. Don't push it, right? We gotta be careful when we do core movements that we're not hurting our belly or our baby. So if it just feels like it's not the right kind of stress, just keep it shorter and rest. But now our cardio. So next we're gonna do a modified jack. So just step and reach overhead, hands together. Step, reach overhead, hands together. All right, so modified jumping jack. We're not really bending those knees. This is mostly an upper body jack here. You can keep a little bounce in it. Woo! Or you could do a full jumping jack, that's totally cool. I'm with it. Almost there, ladies. 3, 2, 1, and rest. And now side bends. So again, this one's kind of like doubles as a strength move a little bit. If we had weights, I guess. But we're trying to keep both sides long. So I'm not just like scrunching the bent side. Notice I'm trying to keep my shoulders as far away from my hips as possible. And if you want, you could always reach overhead too. That's good. That adds a little extra weight to it. Just keep those hips and shoulders in line and rest. All right, last 2 movements. Really this one movement, we're just gonna do all the right side then all the left side. Okay, but we're gonna get a tabletop. So we have fire hydrants. Okay, so on our hands and knees, make sure those wrists are beneath your shoulders, knees are beneath the hips. If you want a little more core engagement, okay, you can walk those hands a little farther out and notice my hips are sliding forward, okay, but do what feels good for you. All right, so we're gonna do just the right side, squeeze that glute up. Pull your belly in here, pull that belly in. Okay, we're trying to kind of hold a vacuum while we're on this tabletop position. Keep a nice 90-degree angle at the knee. Good, we're almost there. 10 more seconds. And if we keep that heel far away too from the booty, you're gonna feel a little extra. 3, 2, 1, and now let's get our cardio in. Walking those hands high then low. So down on our forearms, then up on our hands. If this isn't comfortable for you, you could just do shoulder taps, right? But let's just get that body moving. Good, mamas. And like I said, we're doing that was all the right side. We're gonna do all the left side next. I shouldn't say all, it's really just the fire hydrant. Come on, Coach Zoe. But whatever, you get what I'm saying. Good, and now our mobility. We're just gonna kind of rock those hips back into a child's pose. I'm gonna open my hips up a little bit more because that's what's comfortable for my belly. I'm gonna rock back and then rock forward. So no, I know for any of you die-hard yogis, you're like, that's not a child's pose. I know, okay, but that's what we're doing. So we're just taking those hip flexors back, sit, 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 push those hips into your heels. Good. And then drive them forward. And back to our tabletop. Actually, you have a rest, so just kind of sit back on your hips for a minute. We're gonna do that again, but on the left side. So let me turn a little bit, and then we're done, right? No repeats. Those are kind of fun because once you're done with them, done with the movement, you don't have to do it again. And it feels like it's moving faster because you don't have to come back to anything. All right, so get ready. We have that left fire hydrant, okay? Again, if you want a little more core, walk it out. Let's get started, just that left side. So what I was talking about with keeping that foot farther away from the booty, I mean like this. See how my heel is tucked in? If I keep my heel farther, I'm kind of adding weight to that fire hydrant. I don't know if you can adjust and feel, okay? But you're definitely gonna feel a lot more in the booty, right around this area, if you keep that foot farther away from the booty, right? So like a really solid 90 degrees at that knee. Good, and back to that high to low or shoulder taps. Again, whatever was working for your body, whatever was working. Keep it up, ladies. We're almost there. Just stay strong. Good, and make sure you're pushing yourself off that ground, pulling that belly in for a strong supported core. What even is core at this point? 3, 2, 1, and then we're gonna finish off. Open up those knees, push back into your child's pose, and then just lean forward, rock out those hips. So this one is good, right? Obviously for your hips, but it's really good too for your low back, right? Because once your belly gets so big, how do you round your low back, right? It feels like you're just getting tighter and tighter back there. So this is like really good. Let's get a little bit around this. Kind of find some relief. Separate those vertebrae back there, right? Just get a little fatigued. And rest. Whew. All right, let's just do head to shoulder rotation, and you're done. All right, so roll out those wrists and your neck. How are we feeling, mamas? Are we ready to take a nap? Whew. Both directions. Roll out your elbows. Let's nod yes. And roll out your shoulders. Maybe shake your head no. Good. Now let's do some over-unders. I like to come up onto my toes here. Just kind of work those calves out a little bit after that work. Good, and you're gonna round your back. So we're gonna find really bad posture. You're gonna round your back as much as you can. Reach for that floor, and then come back up. So again, I know this isn't, there's not too much rounding you can do once your belly's so big. But it just feels nice to kind of ragdoll it, right? Good. And just some little hip circles. So don't even bring those knees up high. And let's go inside now. So internal rotation. We did a lot of external, and you're naturally doing a lot of external. So let's do that internal. Good. And I just like to roll out the ankles. Good. Let's give a couple little baby squats for good measure. Couple hinges. Excellent. All right, mamas, you are done. Thank you for joining me. Again, I'm Coach Zoe. Check out the blog on how to get better sleep for some better prenatal energy. All right, this is the workout to go with that post. Otherwise, stay strong, stay tough, and I'll catch you next time.